Well, Bob, another quiet week on Tyneside.
Another day at the office.
Yeah. I mean, what have you made of the events from since last Sunday? Mike actually brought his statement out after the Hull City game, saying you're putting the club up for sale. He's since been in the Middle East, but we still haven't got a buyer. What's been your take on since Sunday?
Well, really, I've just been sitting watching it, and clearly Mike Ashley's decided that he now wants to get rid of the club. He's came officially and said, look, I want to get rid of it for whatever reason. He's had a bit of hassle off the fans, which I would think when he first took the club on, he thought it'd be a bit of an easy ride. But I think it's Newcastle United is a passionate place. It's a passionate city, and I think he maybe got a little bit of taken aback by the reaction when he got rid of Kevin. Whatever his reasons are, I suspect his reasons are that when he first took the club over, Lee, I don't think he realised how big a job he was taking on, and obviously there was debts that he would appear he didn't know about. He's paid them off, and I think the club's probably still struggling. It's probably still losing money. And as a businessman, he's trying to get the thing on an even keel. And now I would think it's a better buy for somebody now if the price is right than it was before. So Mike Ashley's actually done quite a good job. He's got rid of some of the debt or all the problems. So I think there's somebody out there who would buy the club. Now, presumably that's why he's out in Dubai with Dennis Wise and company trying to get a buyer. Now, I think there will be people who would like to buy Newcastle United as long as the price is right. And I don't know what I've heard all sorts of rumours that he's wanting to make a profit. I think after what he's been through, I think he'll be saying, I would just want to get out of this. Let's get out and let's do a deal. So I would think that there will be a new buyer on the scene, and I don't think it'll take that long.
I mean, obviously the managerial situation as a former player manager yourself, I mean, that's obviously going to be on their minds a little bit. I mean, how much did you think that sort of transfers to the dressing room in times like this? I
don't think there's any great rush to get a new manager, and I think it's difficult times to get a new manager in as much as that, the club's up for sale. If a new manager comes in, if he's going to be called a manager, because I think the days of him being a manager are gone now. If Mike actually wants to run the club with Dennis Wise being, if you like, the scout, who's picking the players, the guy who comes in can't really call himself a manager as we know it, because a manager runs everything, doesn't he? He picks the players. This is who I want. Now, if the next guy who comes in, if you like, to look after the team, I think he's got to be called a coach. And I think Chris Hughton, if I was Mike Ashley, I wouldn't be panicking. I wouldn't be saying we need a new manager tomorrow, because I don't think you might get the right guy, because whoever comes in, if he's worth anything at all, he'll be saying, hold on, this is the way I want it. And okay, then there might be more casualties. So I think Mike Ashley might just say, in the meantime, Chris Hughton, you take control. Chris is an experienced guy. He's been around. I think he's perfectly capable of running the side at the minute, and I don't think that's one of Mike Ashley's priorities at the minute, is get a new manager, and I don't think it needs to be.
I mean, obviously when Graham Souness left the club, you had Glenn Roeder came in as caretaker boss, but he was ably assisted by the likes of Alan Shearer, by the likes of Shea Given. Do you think this time around Michael Owen, Shea Given, Nicky Butt, people like that can also help in times like this? I
think they'll definitely have an influence, Lee, in as much as they're experienced players, and any manager worth his salt listens to these senior players. Doesn't always do what they want to do, but at least you consult them and say, look lads, this is it, what do you think? And I think Chris Hughton will be doing that. I think he'll be talking to some of his other staff, and certainly to the Shea Givens, the Michael Owens and Nicky Butts, who are probably the three most experienced players we've got. So I think he will be talking to them. Then you've got to go away and, as a manager, make your own mind up. But they will have an influence, I would suspect.